So, all right, now just do a squat for me, how you would normally squat. Yeah. Good, right. Go again. That's right, Hayes has got it straight away. Good. All right, so again, what I want you to do is squat again. I want to watch, just pay attention to what your feet want to do as you start squatting.
They want to invert.
Yeah, see how they want to spin and you want to grab, and you also want to start to load one more than the other, right? That's because we've got all this tightness in the system. So for me, straight away, I'm like, that's not a good exercise to load. We can do it as a stretch and we can do it to improve function. You do it body weight, but I wouldn't, it's like straight away, I'm not gonna load that exercise, but I still wanna train the person's legs. So let's go in a lunge position. Let's have a look at how you lunge. So let's go down. Good. And then up, nice. Do another rep for me. Up, good, swap sides. Good. See, much better balance, stability on your foot there. Like, it's obviously a pattern that everyone should be training, not just this. You need to be able to train because the adductors are going to lengthen, shorten, and there's obviously other things that are going to happen. So you got to look at how that person is, how they've been training. Have they only been doing legs in this fashion, right? And now they've got a hip issue because they've probably only been doing legs in that fashion. So, but I do leg press, I'm strong on the leg press, I do squats. But when we're in a squat, a lot of the time we're in a knee restricted position, right? A flat foot squat, we're gonna be in a knee restricted position. So we're actually not gonna do a lot for the knee, we're gonna do more for the hips, the upper part of the quads essentially. So there's also got to be something to address the knee. A lunge is gonna help that as well. That also gives us option to train the adductors in a different way. For leg training too, there's another option. I feel that people's training ratios between their lunge, their squat, and their step up, they should be able to at least even the reps across their training cycle. Do you know what I mean?
Can I ask you a quick question on that? So, what did you see there on his feet? And then I think you might have addressed it while I was picking that thing up, right?
Yeah.
But what did you see there that you're like, you know what? Squat's enough for him. I've seen this, this, and this,
Yeah.
and this is what we're going to move to instead.
Yeah.
Because that's a common. That what I just seen there is so common across our studios. When a 55-year-old woman or man comes in, they've never squatted in their life. They go down, everything's buckling, happening, like something similar to that. So what did you see there? And then what's the small little fix to that?
So, like, just from the theory perspective, right? We're talking about mechanics,
Yeah.
right? The bare basics of it, right? It's going to be dependent on the lever length of these two, do you know what I mean? The flexibility in all those joints, right? If you haven't got the flexibility and mobility to do the exercise, should you be doing the exercise?
No.
So number one, didn't have the flexibility and mobility. But number two, he wasn't really balanced on his feet. He was sort of looking for this. His feet were doing these sorts of things or starting to do that. That's not good, right? Because look at the way that joint's shaped now.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a powerful position to stand up from a squat from? No. People can, and your body will do a lot of things because it wants to get out of danger. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's a training parameter, you know what I mean? So it's like number one, I want to see, it all starts from the foot up, right? If you can't keep your feet on the ground, you're not going to target the muscles in your quads that you want to target to look like Tom Platz or to get explosive legs like, you know, the football player or something like that, because you're not actually using them. You're starting to try and pull your coil in and all these other muscles that you're not actually using the muscles that you're going to really target if you're doing that exercise correctly.
Yeah.
So number one, I look at him squat, okay, bilateral exercise. As soon as he shifts his load, if I've got a weight on his back, that's not going to be good for him. So barbell's out. Doesn't necessarily mean that we can't get him to squat. I probably wouldn't get him to squat with a load though. I'd try and improve it with just his body weight. But I'd also use other exercises to get him stronger. I'd try and make the exercise, like in a technical lifting program, I get people to start doing like a wall squat, so up against the wall, maintaining the core position, but now we focus on just being able to control that foot, that knee, and that hip, not taking that shift in. all those things. So now we're supporting the core and we're isolating them to control their feet, knee and hip, and they start to get good control off that. Then I bring them off the wall and I try and teach them how to use them together. But sometimes that process is not successful because the person's way too tight and way too weak. And sometimes this is just way too advanced for some people. As you would know, as you said, like you get a 55-year-old woman who hasn't been athletic maybe she's never done anything athletic. She's been sitting at a desk for 20 years, you know what I mean? And she's got all these other little nigglies going on and she's all stiff, and it's like, how do you get that person to open up? So a lot of it's stretching, yes, but a lot of it's teaching the nervous system how to like let go of what it's holding on to. As I did, I tried and moved him into that position and got his hip to feel like in an unstable position. He started to move it because I was supporting it. His nervous system worked it out. It's not going to happen with 55-year-old Jan. She's too far away from that.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean you can't start to seek it. But it's like we've got to be able to train that joint in a place where it's going to stay working the joint how it's supposed to. So if I want to get him to work that knee and that foot, I want that foot to be able to do this and not have all of this going on. I need to be able to extend the knee. So for someone that might just be that part of it. Do you know what I mean? Can I just stay on my foot? Can I start to do like a little step up, or can we get him in a lunge, or even can we get him in like, you know, can we like get him in a TRX squat, but not twisting, not changing, not manipulating, having that ability, because you're trying to teach someone to use a body part, but they don't know how to control it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I want to get the benefit out of punching pads, should I be able to control my arm and hit the pads? Yeah. So then why aren't we getting people to control their feet and hit their quads and knees and hips and glutes how we want to? Like, we want to get what we want out of the training session, but some people don't progress because they're just not even in that land. And then the stress is so high on their body because they're so far away from it, their nervous system just like shuts them down, and then they don't actually get the training response that we're looking for out of the person. And all of that's just because we're starting at a too high a level. These days is like, we got to start people like right down at like physio level almost a lot of the time. They're coming in, their hips, their knees, their ankles, and their upper back and shoulders are just that bad that we've really got to teach them how to move again. Do you know what I mean? And then have them have some good habits that they can take into their daily life, because a lot of people just go and undo, sometimes you don't get enough time with them, 20 minutes a week or something like that. And then how can you undo the hours and hours in a week that they've put themselves in a bad position if they don't have any habits that they can fall back onto, or they haven't got any stretching or any things that they can take from the gym, take home and start to use them as well. Not just looking for the training session, banging it out, burning the calories, getting that cardio. It's like, that's cool. All that stuff will happen though when you can move well, happens really well. Just happens really poor at where you are now because you're trying to choose like, you're trying to drive a snowmobile on the street. It's not the right situation for it. It's great in the snow, you know what I mean? It's not good on asphalt. Just these things. The person's got to meet the parameters that they're at. And I think this is the biggest misconception within like the personal training side. So that is just watch the feet move. When I put him in a lunge position, he was actually quite stable and balanced on his foot. People are still going to be even more wilder, but that's cool. Let's give them a support. Give them a broomstick, or give them a TRX handle, or put them on a wall or a door frame, or use the trainer, help assist them through the motion as well. Like, a lot of that stuff doesn't happen in personal training. It's like, that's why you should come to the trainer, so you can go and he can put you in a position and he can coach you and teach you what you actually need to do. No, that's 10 reps and let's walk over here. Like, that's online training. You can get that from online, and what you want is to be able to make that person work better so they can get the benefits out of training, but then they can then take what they've learned from you and just use it for the rest of their life because they move well. And then they know when they're doing, now I know I'm doing something wrong, got to fix that, keep moving on with my life and my fitness goals, because we're not going to get someone I've been lucky to train people for some long times, 10, 15 years, but in general, you get 2 or 3 years with someone, if you're lucky, and that's got to make enough impression on them that they can then use that for the rest of their life. I mean, that's what I see a personal trainer as. It's like, we're a coach to teach them, to give them some good training life skills they can take away to be fit and healthy, you know what I mean? You don't need to kill it in the gym to be fit and healthy. Actually, it's quite far from it. I think people sometimes are training too hard in the gym. is the reality of it. They're just not getting enough quality work in. They're working on like getting that mental feeling rather than actually getting the quality of what the training is actually going to produce for you, you know?